Good afternoon, preppers. Wow, what a day, huh? All these things with the bank failures and the market being very volatile. We're not out of the woods yet, although things are looking better. But let's recap on some stuff and actually see what's heading in the future for all these problems. How is the Fed maneuvering the second largest bank failure in the United States, and the third largest too, happened almost at the same time? U.S. lenders were recently sent into a tailspin after the SVB Financial Group, which specializes in venture capital, announced a stock offering and offloaded securities, trying to raise cash. The firm's shares collapsed 60% in New York and lost $1.8 billion. Trying to prevent a run on the bank, the CEO asked clients to stay calm. And this news came as crypto banking giant Silvergate said it planned to close as the sector faces more turmoil. Signature Bank, one of the two significant banks for the crypto industry, also was shut down by New York regulators, the third U.S. bank failure in a week. So ultimately, we're looking at right now, as of right now, 3 bank failures. There's certainly going to be more. But as far as the depositors go, we mentioned this before, if you actually have less than $250,000, you're getting your money back. In fact, I think a lot of people already did get their money out, which is good. But the major corporations and the huge people who held deposits in there are not. And that could be catastrophic and will be catastrophic on the country for the fact that it's going to push us ever closer into a depression. And despite the government helping this out for SVP, Silicon Valley Bank, First Republic drops 60%, leads the decline. In addition, besides San Francisco's First Republic shares lost 64%, PacWest Bancorp dropped 32%, Western Alliance 50%. Other banks as well tumbling down. But this is what it comes down to. First Republic Bank shares plummet as banking fears spread. And the fears are everywhere. And that's actually what's going to cause the long-term problems. And I'm not saying the fears aren't justified. They certainly are. We're not even simply talking about people's money in the accounts that may be lost or held. We're talking about, again, major corporations failing, job losses, all these things conglomerating together to be a huge catastrophic event. So First Republic, a regional bank in San Francisco with $213 billion in assets and 7,200 employees, fell more than 70%. Biden says Americans can rest assured banking system is secure after the collapse. However, many disagree. The federal government has 48 hours to fix this irreversible mistake, billionaire says. It's actually the Home Depot founder. It should be a wake-up call. Several billionaires issued warnings over the weekend after Silicon Valley Bank suddenly collapsed, forcing the federal government to step in. The shuttering of the bank, SVP Silicon Valley, was announced by the FDIC, the worst failure of American financial institution since 2008. And this describes it right here. The government has about 48 hours to fix the soon-to-be irreversible mistake. And by the way, it's already too late for that. The giant sucking sound you will hear are the withdrawal of substantially all uninsured deposits from everything but the SIBs. And that's where we're going to leave off this afternoon, because it's far more than not getting your $1,000 back out of the bank you had at Silicon Valley, because you're probably getting it back, or if not already did. It's about the ripple effects, the long-term ramifications. And then you also have to look into it. What caused these banks to fail? The same mechanism needs to be repaired and fixed, because we're going to be looking at far catastrophic more failures in the very, very near future. The stock market is already volatile. The stock market is actually fluctuating and dropping wildly because of these banks. And it's not even just the United States stock market, but all over the world, we're actually seeing ripple effects in other markets starting to come down as well. It seems like 1929 all over again, as we're looking at bank failures, people losing their jobs, the threat of losing their jobs, people trying to get money out of the banks, and they won't be able to because the banks simply just don't have the funds to give out. Again, we do have FDIC now, which seems to be helping, but it's simply just a Band-Aid, because as we're seeing the multimillionaires, multi-billionaires, even if you have just $300,000 in the bank over that $250,000 FDIC limit, you may not get it back. And if we're not going to be getting money back for some of the big corporations and such, they're going to shut down, further exacerbating this problem, sending us into a Great Depression. So again, it's been quite a day. Man, and putting out 3 videos trying to explain everything that's happening here and keeping an eye on it is difficult. But you know what? That's what we do at Goshen Prepping, because it's not simply just about stockpiling food, which we do, or showing you the best methods for medical, which we do, but be able to keep an eye on these things, because I know a lot of people don't watch the news. That's a good thing you don't. And I'm going to try to do my best to try to fill you in when these urgent and emergent things actually take place. And I hope that's helping. Anyways, hopefully you're not reeling from this. Hopefully you're not having any problems from this. And I would suspect that most of our viewers will not, for the fact that, again, we're not people who probably have 300,000 or more in our accounts. But the long-term ramifications, the lagging effect because of all this, is going to be long-lasting. And even though Biden tries to put out like happy roses and cherries and say, oh, don't worry, we have a lot to worry about, because we're looking at nothing less than possibly the entire economic system collapsing. This simply just happens to be the first effects of this whole thing taking place. Thank you for watching.